Hey guys, Aaron here, welcome back to another Super Nintendo ROM hack video. Today I'm going to be playing Donkey Kong Country Kremlings Revenge. Going to be playing this on the Super Nintendo Mini. Just in case you want to give it a go yourself, it works absolutely fine actually. And I believe this ROM hack was the first full Donkey Kong Country ROM hack out there. Come out all the way back in 2012, which seems ages ago now, I know. One thing you will notice though is there's not really much of a change to the graphics. It's more about the level design, as you'll see coming up. It is a bit of a shame, even like the level select screens haven't been changed whatsoever here, but hey. So the first level, not too bad. It's got this really weird area though, where you can go in and get Squawks the Parrot. Not quite sure why, but hey. And already off the bat, you will notice that the difficulty level has been extremely fine-tuned here. If you're like a seasoned Donkey Kong Country player, especially with maybe Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, you probably won't have too many issues, well, with the first few levels at least. It just seems like whoever hacked the game just really wanted to make it as difficult as they could. As you will see, I'm sure, during this video. There's a lot of emphasis based on pixel perfect jumping along the way, and you will find yourself constantly retrying levels if you're a pretty average player, but hey, I had quite a lot of fun doing it. One thing you will notice as well is the graphics in the background are a bit weird. They're very blocky. I'm not really sure why that's the case. It must just be some effect of the ROM hack. And the transitions from day to night are kept in as well, which is all good. This was the first level I really started to have difficulty with, let alone getting up on the side here and jumping over onto, I'm just going to call him King Louie. There's a lot of blind jumping. And it really starts to become a bit of an issue as you get through the levels here. It's more very trial and error. Not really quite sure why there is a can of oil on top of the tree there, but hey, won't judge. Some levels have more DK barrels than others as well, which is all good. There is one level in particular that really could do with maybe one or two more DK barrels in it, but thankfully, due to the Super Nintendo Mini having a rewind feature, it really does come in handy for this game. Normally I wouldn't use that feature. I kind of like to try as much as I can to get through a level, but with this game, you really have to have a lot of patience to get through it. And again, with the collecting of the Kong letters, it really does come in handy because of the extra lives, but a lot of them are placed in some really odd positions, as you'll probably come across during this video. So generally, I don't go for them too often. The extra lives are a lot easier to get hold of, if you can ever see them. So level 2, might have made it look easy there, but trust me, it took me a few goes to do that. So gonna skip Cranky's Cabin and any others like that that appear during the video. Reptile Rumble. Now of course you probably want to be using Donkey Kong for certain enemies. He can of course take him out in one hit. So this level, definitely want to be using him. Diddy Kong is a lot better at jumping up higher ledges, I guess, as I'm sure you're aware. So try and swap over to Donkey Kong as much as possible on this one. So difficulty wise, this one's not too bad as long as you stick with Donkey Kong and just dodge as many of these, what are they, saws, blades? I'm not really too sure there, but they're deadly either way. A lot of the enemies have been placed in areas as well where you can just bounce off of them in quick succession. A bit like Mario Brothers, I guess. And again, you want to start using the the roll jump to get across some of these areas. This one's not too bad to do that in, but the next level, I believe in particular, can be very tricky. It's a shame I haven't come across more secret areas. Donkey Kong Country had quite a lot of them, and maybe later in the game they do appear a lot more. And getting up that ledge as well with Diddy Kong is... Obviously he's got that higher jump there. So, onto the water level, Coral Capers. Which is a bit of an odd one. It's just one screen. I would love to know the reasoning behind why there is just one little part to that level, but I'm sure there is a good reason. The water levels in Donkey Kong Country games have always been one of my favourites, mainly due to the music. But I really would hope that later in this ROM hack one turns up, a proper one anyway. So this was actually the first level I really started to come into difficulties, mainly down to the pixel perfect jump. So you want to start using the roll jump here, which takes a bit of getting used to, if I'm being honest. But this is where I have the issue, but on this time I've managed to do it, so it's not a big deal. Grab the extra life, of course. You still get the animal companions, but I haven't really come across them as much as I thought they would be in the game, but one does appear very soon. It's just a bit of a pain getting over these orangutans, and there's a checkpoint coming up, which unfortunately I didn't reach on this occasion. So let's give that another go. Always grab those bananas up on the top left anyway. So coming up to that jump again, as you'll see, it's so difficult to make. Yeah, you'll just end up falling off the screen or landing somewhere you probably shouldn't. And again, this took me a long time to do. It's just a bit of a crazy jump, and at one point I did actually give up completely, even attempting this. It was only until I let a friend give it a go and he managed to do it, and that kind of gave me the hope that I could actually manage it as well. But once you actually do pull it off, the rest of the level's not too bad until you get up to a certain bit anyway. And picking up all of those extra lives really does help, unless you want to keep using that rewind feature anyway. Just really annoying that orangutan is kind of so close to the edge there, because there is a bit of a chance you can actually hit him, but it's a checkpoint anyway, so that's not too bad. There is a barrel up top actually, which I did try and get into, but maybe that does take you off to a bonus area. And this level does seem to have quite a lot of extra lives, because I guess it knows you're going to die a few times. So we're coming up to the ostrich, and this is just a case of keeping hold of him, I found. Just need to get under these guys. If you lose the ostrich, yeah, you got to restart the entire section again. You can't make the jumps to get to the exit. As much as I tried anyway, it's just not possible. Probably an extra life hidden up there somewhere, but hey. So let's skip the save point, don't really need that with the SNES Mini. And onto the first boss, which is a little bit surprising, considering the other levels were extremely difficult. I was expecting something a bit more trickier. I guess it's down to the hacker's ability to change the pattern or something, but I just found this maybe a little bit too easy. So that was actually the first set of levels in Congo Jungle anyway. So what I'm going to do real quick is just have a quick look at some of the other levels in the second world. I must say that I never actually got that far. I think I did a few of them after this point, which you probably will see, but there was one level in particular which I just couldn't really seem to get by. The minecart level as well is quite a tricky one. It kept me going for about 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure out some of the bits, but that was more down to just getting used to the controls, I guess. Once I figured that out, it didn't really cause too many problems. Always kind of found the minecart levels some of the more enjoyable parts of the Donkey Kong Country games. And Stop and Go Station was a really strange one, because there was a few weird glitches going on. I don't know if it... I'm assuming it was supposed to go like this, as you'll see. But you come to this dead end, which kind of got me stumped for a second, until I started exploring around. It turns out you can actually go up onto a platform up here, and it kind of weirdly shoots you off into some other area. Which then confused me, thinking, hang on, did the game just glitch? It takes you back to the exit, nothing there. None of the platforms to take you up. And you kind of have to take this, again, a leap of blind faith, to find a barrel over here, which shoots you into a off-screen area. Honestly, I don't know what's going on there. And this was the stage I got up to. I had a lot of issues just sliding down this slope here to my death. Quite a few times actually. With a bit of persistence, I did manage to get further into level, not that far though. And yeah, I think it's getting to the point where it's just getting a bit too crazy with the pixel perfect jumps. Even being able to rewind time using the Super Nintendo Mini didn't really help me out in the long run here. Would I recommend this ROM hack? I'm not really too sure. I've heard from other people who've played this, later on in the game, it really does get frustrating with pixel perfect jumps, so just bear that in mind if you do want to try this out. In any case, I'm going to leave this video here. As always, maybe give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed what you watched, and if you are new to the channel as well, it'd be great if you could subscribe. Maybe even leave some comments down below under the video. Thanks for watching.